So this is the map window. So you have site 1, site 2. You started here site 1, site 2, site 3, site 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So basically, now I want to create a polygon. To create a polygon from this point, you have to do something else. You go to vector because you are trying to work on a vector. Vectors are basically polygons. Of course, you have 3 types of vector. You have points, line, and polygons. Those are the 3 types of vector you have. These are point data, this point here. So I want to get a polygon from this point. So click on vector under this tools here. When you click on vector, you get lots of different operations, but of course, vectors is what you're working on. But in order to kind of load a new layer, first and foremost, go to layers. Forget about the vector for now. We'll come back to vector. Go to layer. Then you have create layer. Go to layer. Under the context menu, select create layer. There are other options in front of create layer. You move your cursor down to those options. New shapefile layer. You want to create a geo package. You want to create a shapefile. So you click on new shapefile layer. Click on that. It gives you this pop-up menu. You have a name. Under name, you click on the 3 dots at the end of the option. It brings you to, and then you find your way back to the folder of interest, which is the output for myself. And then I want to create, let me call it Ifite section, or Ifite, let me just call it Ifite area. So type in under file name Ifite underscore area. So this is the folder I want to, this is the shapefile, the polygon I want to create. Save. Now the name shows up along with the location under file name. Now file encoding, I wouldn't change that. I'll leave it the way it is at UTF-8. You don't need to change it. Geometry type, do you want to create a polygon, a point, or a line? You want to create a polygon. So you click on the arrow, select polygon, this. Select that. Then under additional dimensions, no point in selecting others, leave it the way it is. As usual, what is the geographic coordinate system? You can leave it as it is. Since you already have this selected, you can still go back and find another one. Of course, it's given this message here. I wouldn't really know the implication of that, but you leave it as is. Now, field name. On that field name, or rather new field, this is the first field. ID, which is just, if you save this right now, it will only have one option that you can change. You cannot add name to it. It's just the ID may be your ID of 1, 2, 3, and all of that. But in this case, I want to have maybe a name in addition to the ID. So let's say in front of name, under new field, in front of name, type in maybe name or location or whatever you want. What kind of data is that name? The type is a text file in my own case. So text file, text data is okay, but you should know that they'll have other options. You have whole numbers. If it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's what you select. If it's decimal where you have 1.55, you select decimal. If it's a date, you select date. But in my own case, the name should be a text file, so text data. What is the length of the name? Maybe the length will be up to 100. So 100. Having done that, you click on this add to field list. Click on this. And note that as you click on this, everything you filled here will be added to this box in addition to this first row. So click, and now you have name there, string, and then this. So click on OK. Now, having clicked OK, you see that this this new layer is added, but it's not reflected within because it's a new layer. It's meant to be polygon, but it's empty. There's nothing there. You have to create something there for something to exist. Note that most often than not in a cartography, when you're working with a GIS, the point data should be on top, because if you have a polygon on top of a point data, you won't see the point, which is below. The point should usually be on top. Next, you might, if you have a line data, you have the line data, and then you have the polygon, and possibly the raster below. Now, with this, at this point, you want to kind of edit this to add something, add data to it. So once you click on this, you can click on this pencil-like icon here, which says toggle editing. Alternatively, you can right-click on the layer and move down until you find toggle editing, which is this. Click on toggle editing with the pencil as this icon. Once you click on it, something happens. That pencil shows up within the box. The pencil shows up because now it's editable. Now, if you check, the pencil here is also highlighted. It wasn't highlighted before, now it's highlighted. Now, I want to create a polygon. So, if you bring this, add polygon feature. If I want the polygon to be a box, a square, or a rectangle, I can use this icon. If I click, if it's meant to be a circle, I don't need to start doing the individual things. Just click this and draw a rectangle or a square. Click and draw a circle, but that's not what we want to do. We're working with real data, so you click on this one because we are going to generate the polygon from this point within this area. So click on this. Now it's highlighted, active. So having been activated, now I can edit within. Now, ideally, you bring your cursor close to the point in question because you want to link the points to create a polygon. Luckily for you, if you're lucky while you're working, then you'll be, once you bring your mouse close to the point, you will get a highlight. If I move it away, you don't see anything. If I move it close, you see a purple box around that point. Once I click on it, it will activate it. Now, but let's try some things. Enable snapping. This U-like icon here is a magnet. Once I deselect it, it's already selected right now. It's selected automatically as soon as I selected this. But once I deselect it and try to do the same thing again, you don't see the purple box because the snapping tool is deactivated. Now, if I click on it and bring it close, the snapping tool is activated. So I want to leave it on to make the snapping or the editing easier on my part. So once I move it to site 1, but of course, I want to create something that boxes in this entire area so that my study site will be the region within all these ones, because like I told you during the field work, if you have a square area, get the coordinates at the 4 corners. If it's irregular, get the coordinates at the sharp edges so that once you link those points, you have your study area will be the area within the box, the points. So let's say based on this shape, let's start at site 2. Click. You can see that there's a line. Once you click, is activated. There's a line that comes with it. Move to the site 1. Click. Go to site 3. Click. 11. Click. 4. click, 5, click, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, basically, this is your polygon because now you have linked all the corners around your field of interest. So having done that, you can right click now. Having clicked on all of those points and linked them, right click. Once you right click, another pop-up window shows up. Now, automatically, when you were trying to create the shapefile, you had the ID. You added a name. Now, this is the name. So the ID, under ID, type in maybe a number. Let's say 1. Under file name, highlight the null and type in, let's say, Ifite. And then say, oh, Ifite area. And then say, OK. So note something, as soon as you say OK, something will happen within the map window. OK. And now that's your new polygon. But mind you, this has not yet been saved. If you close this document, basically it might be lost. So to save this, if you look at this area, this is where you were editing with from. To save, you click on this save icon here, save layer edits. You can also right click on the layer, scroll down, you still see save layer edits. Once you click this, you've actually saved it. As you clicked it, you can note that as soon as I clicked it, this icon that was active before became inactive because now there's nothing else to save. If I make any other changes here, it becomes active, so I have to save. So having done that, I think I wouldn't really do more here. You can save different polygons within this area. That's why you now have different lines. The first line was what we filled. You might have different lines, different fields eventually in your document, but in this case, this is simplistic. I just want to create one polygon within the entire layer. So deactivate. To deactivate, just click on this pencil, this pencil again, the toggle editing, click on it. It's now inactive, no longer editable. And you see that if you take a layer here, it's now also without the pencil. So now you have a line polygon. You have a polygon rather, and then you have point. What about line data? Let's try and see whether we can load some line data into this. But, well, let's do something else. Like I said, we need to convert, we want to also convert the shapefile to a KML file. And of course, with the KML, we can now load the KML into Google Earth Pro and see what the area looks like within our polygon. So right click, as I did before, go down, export. Under export, select shape feature as, you click. This time around, I want to save as a keyhole markup language, KML. Click on not as S3 shapefile now, so the format should change. Click on the arrow, scroll down or move down until you get keyhole markup language, KML. You select that, file name. Click on this, scroll to, well, this is still the, automatically that's what once you begin working, you start to work, it will still take you back to where you started, but just make sure it's the appropriate folder before you start saving. So for me, it's still all output here. So I continue typing maybe the same name that I typed before, if it's an area. And then save. So if it's an area, I still retain WGS84. And of course, I simply retain all other things as is. And I say, OK. Now it has saved, but it's trying to ask me something. Do I want to load what I got, the KML I created into the layer and of course into the map window? Maybe I want to, maybe I don't want to. It depends on me. If I want to, then select and say add layer. If I don't want to, I say cancel. Once I cancel, it will close it. It's already saved in the folder in question, but it's not online. So let's say I click add layer, for instance, add layer. Now you have the layer added. Now it's fully added. That's why you see this good here. So you can close this. Now, if I deselect this, which is the original, I have some align there. So that's the KML file there, added. That's the original. That's the KML. So that brings us to something else. So in other words, if I click, if you look at this, the point data, if I don't want to view the point data, even though it's still there, once I click on this box here with a tick mark and deactivate that box, the points disappear. Once I activate it by clicking again, the points appear. It's the same thing with any other data you load within the layer. In the layer pane, you can manipulate what is within the map window. That's the idea with these things. I can drag up and down. Now, let's say I have the KML file still looks reddish, so I can't really tell that it's there. So let's say, for instance, I want to kind of highlight it. I can still right-click, go to Properties. Now I'm trying to format. I don't want to label, so I want to have to add some formats, some new formats. Maybe change the line. Click on this, the symbology, and it says what is it? What symbol are you working with? Single symbol. This one under embedded symbol, the format. I want single symbol. If you click no symbol, you run into issues, but you can still update single symbol. I select single symbol. Initially, it was embedded, so there was no way to format it. It's just the way it is. But once you click single symbol, you can format it. So click on the arrow, select as appropriate. No longer embedded symbol, nothing. So you can't edit. Of course, you can't change the color. Here, you can change the color to black and say apply. And then it becomes black, but ideally, I usually go for single symbol, for instance, and then I can now format the single symbol. To format that, you click on the box here. Now, this under file name, under field color, do you want the field color to be black? I don't want to have any field there, but let's leave it for now. Stroke color, the line color, what do you want the line color to be? I want it to be black. You select black. I want to differentiate it from the red, the reddish background. Now I want to make the line thicker. Let's say maybe I'll backspace on the 0.26 and make it 0.50. Let's say if I say okay, now you notice something, everything will turn black in between within. So let's not say okay, let's just say apply, and you check what happens within the map window. Now it's turned black all through. This is not what I want to do. Now it turned black because if you check here, field color was black, stroke color was black. Now I don't want to have anything within. I want to be able to still see the color of the other layer. So field style is what I need to change. This one solid here is solid. That is solid means that there shouldn't be any space within. The color should be filled. The space should be filled with the selected color. Let's say I click on the arrow and say no brush. I can select any other format here, but I don't want any patterning within, so no brush. Click apply again, and you see you have the line highlighted now based on the new color, but still blank within. So say okay. So now this is, if you deselect the, if it's the area, the polygon, the S3 shapefile, now you have the KML as black lines boxing in the region within the points. Now, having done this, there's something that we omitted that we should have done when we started to avoid running into issues. You need to save what you're working on. If you don't save it and you close it, let's say, for instance, your system shuts down, you've lost virtually everything you've been working on. But not necessarily you can still open and then locate your what you saved where you saved it, but it means you have to do some extra work. So to avoid that, click on project to save the document, the work you're doing. Click on project, move your cursor down until you get to save as or save as. You click save as, and then you can negotiate your way back to where you want to save your data. In this case, this is not here. You go to, I was working on the downloads, NATS, study guide, map production. I might decide to save it here. Just say study guide tutorials, study guide tutorials, and say save. Now the name changes automatically here. So this is the name of this document, and the name is study guide tutorials on top here, dash QGIS. So whenever I'm working now to save that, whatever I've done, I have to click this save here now. Once I click it, it means it's saved. So whenever I want to open, once I open my QGIS, I'll probably see it appear where I have those maps I showed you earlier on, where I said these are works that I've done before now. So once it's there, once I double click on it, it will take me down into this window with all these files the way it was the last time I saved. So now basically this is this. Now the next step, of course, is let's do something else before we now see how the KML works with Google Earth Pro. You want to load a shapefile. You recall that we downloaded in addition to the elevation data, we downloaded some river from the Ed Explorer online directory. So let's see whether we can load that, because that's meant to be a line polygon, but a line shapefile. But I haven't opened it before. I don't think it will indicate that there is a water line here, but we can also look at what the water line looks like for the entire Nigeria, and then you see how this small area looks within. It will be virtually non-existent when I zoom to the Nigeria area. So or rather the Anambra area or wherever. Now let's go back to this icon, which is of course the Open Data Source Manager. Click on it. Now I'm not trying to open a delimited text file. I'm trying to open a vector. So you click vector. Now in front of vector dataset, you click on these three dots. It takes you to the map production output. I'm not trying to open something from output. So this icon here, this arrow pointing also just says move upwards a step. So, and find the folders within. So once I click it, now this output, these are other documents or other folders within its vicinity. So I'm working with vector. Double click on vector. If I click on this arrow, it takes me back again. This. So if you select, I don't want to use double click. Click, that's a vector, and click open here. Click open, it opens it. Now I want to load some some data. Well, what I wanted to load is not yet unzipped, I think. So let's say you click on this, open. Well, this I cannot load right now because they are still zipped up. But let's do something else anyway. It's still something we'll do subsequently. We're now trying to open the Nigeria shape files, the ones we downloaded from the different online uh, administrative map databases. So this is Diva NGA, the Diva.js map. Select that, click open. Like I told you, you don't want to click open, you have to open the one that's ended with .shp, which is this. But you don't want to open this ADM0 because you just get the line capturing Nigeria, nothing else. You don't want to open this one unless you just want to you need just the maps, the states, and the Nigeria, but without local governments. You want to open this if you need the Nigeria boundary, the state boundary, and the local government area boundary. So once you click on this, you say open. It has loaded its properties here. You don't need to make any changes here. Just click add. Click add, and you notice that something has been added. And what has been added has been indicated here, NGA admin 2. So that's what you added. Now I want to add something else. So I don't need to close this to add another thing. Like I said, you downloaded maps from different sources and want to see how they compare to each other. You come back here, click open, click on this browse, go up a step, GADM, the data source. Double click on it. You don't want to open 0. You don't want to open 1. You want to open 2 so that you get everything. Click open again. Click add. This is a different one. So you can now see you have under the layer pane, you have GADM, you have NGA, then you have lots of, so you can have 50 layers here, but what you have here will only be loaded within this map window. Now we want to load another one. You still come to this, click, go up a step, natural earths, open. This time around, in this case, we don't have a differentiation. So you simply select NE10 admin 0 country SHP. You click on that. .shp is a key thing. And say open, add. That's a new one added. And then the final one in the list, you go up a step. Now, World Bank. I think I trust this one more than Diva.gis, but let's see what happens. You open another folder within, you click it, open again. Now you're here. You don't need to make any changes here. You just have to select the one with that ended with .shp. Now note that if you might have a long name such that the end, like you can see here, what it ended with may not show up fully. So what you need to note is that this is the .sh. You can see .sh. But important thing is that once you hold your key on top, it might give you an idea of what it is. This one is but the key thing here is, don't mind what you see right now, is that this is not the appropriate one. Like you see, when you bring it here, is an XML file. It's already telling you type XML document, but it ended with SHP, SH something. So this is what you're looking to load. You're looking to load this, which ended this. So this probably, when you see the full name, will become .shp .xml. Now this one is simply .shp, but the shortcut to knowing is just look at the type here. This is SHX, not what you're looking for. XML, not what you're looking for, SHP, what you're looking for. You select that, open, and then add. Watch the name, the color change again. So now you are done with this loading. You can close this. Now, like I told you, you can no longer see uh, the small areas, the small maps, because you have a larger map covering the entire area. To be able to see those small maps, you have to hold, if it's an area, hold, drag to the top, just below the point data, and now it shows up again. I want this one to show up too. Activate it, drag, just watch a line, the line that moves up and down. That line is determinant. Now it's between Ifite area and one of the Nigeria maps. Let it go, and it shows up. So this is basically how you load your vector data, which is basically the essence of the tutorial for this unit. Now, let's say, how do you see, if you use your cursor, you can zoom in and zoom out, but I want to zoom to the extent of Nigeria. Now, to zoom in and zoom out easily, use this button. This is plus to zoom in. Once you click on it, once you click within, now the icon has changed. You can see it's now plus and not a hand kind of figure. Once I click, you see more details. It keeps increasing. I can even click hold, and then it will zoom into that box area. Now, that's not what I want to do. I want to zoom out. To zoom out, you use the minus. Click on the minus. Once you click, it zooms out. If you do like this, it zooms out further, zooms out further. You can now see that this is a very small area compared to the entire map that we loaded. Now, to automatically get the entire extent of Nigeria, right click on any of those Nigeria maps and select zoom to layer. Zoom to layer. Click on that. Now you can see this is a map of Nigeria with all the local governments captured. You may not be able to see the states now because the focus is on the local government, but I can still bring out the states when I want to bring out the states. But this is basically your map of Nigeria with the local governments captured within. Now, you can also see that for this data, when we downloaded it, the natural earth, we downloaded data for the entire Africa or the entire world, I think, for the entire globe. So let's take it down to the bottom. Let's zoom to that layer. You right click on it now, that particular layer you want to zoom to, right click on it and select zoom to layer. And now you can see that is the map, the polygon for the entire world. This is Nigeria here. This is the United States of America. This is Canada. This is Alaska. This is Greenland. This region is part of Russia. It's a globe. So this region, which is part of Russia, is part, and of course this region, no, this is part of Canada mostly. This is Greenland. This region here, Alaska, this region is part of Russia. It's a globe. If you look at this end, this region is what was cut. What is left of this region is what you see here. So since it's a circle, this edge eventually links with this edge when you roll it into a ball. Now, this is Russia. This is Mongolia. This is China. This is India. This is Saudi Arabia. Australia. This is Brazil here. This entire is South America. Of course, like this is, like I said, this is Nigeria. South Africa. I think this is Algeria here. This is Libya. So this is basically the map of the world, the globe. You want to go to Nigeria again, you click on the plus, You can come here, we want to box in Nigeria, click within the map, close to the edge of Nigeria, hold and drag onto the other edge. And automatically it takes you to the region around Nigeria. So you can click on this, the minus, we want to get fully Nigeria within the map. So this is how you display your vector map. I think we've taken quite a while, so I'll stop this tutorial at this moment and then we'll continue subsequently. So make sure before you close that you save, so that whenever you come back, you still get this entire thing the way it is the last time you saved. So you click S, the save icon there, and it saves it. So I'll end this for now and then restart again for the next stage.